So today, let's see, we're on, what number power up are we on? Are we on 24? I think we're on 24. I don't know, I don't number these things. Anyway, I've got Brent Werling, did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Brent Werling.
Brent Werling with me, aka Vega, aka Immortal, aka Cheeseface Immortal. Yeah. So how you doing today?
We could go on a while with the nicknames, huh?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm doing good. Just stuffed myself actually with one of those Domino's bread bowl things.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I recommend.
I just peeled you off the NHL 2010. I noticed.
It's
Before.
one of the few things that can do that. Yeah.
So let's see. Last time I talked to you was at Naptown Clash. How'd you do with that? Like, I had to leave really. Like, I left late, but I didn't really get to say goodbye to anybody because they were kicking us out. So.
Oh yeah, 'cause it lasted pretty late. I guess I did pretty much as expected. Beforehand, there was only 7 players for the HD Remix tournament. So a little disappointing, but I got first place for that. And then I played Third Strike. I never know what I'm going to do there, so I think I got like, I don't know, fifth or seventh or something like that.
Yeah.
I came,
Well either.
yeah, just kind of sleepwalk my way through that one and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then let's see, and then I guess the only other things I played was Street Fighter 4 singles and then the team event.
Yeah. Now your team won, right?
Yeah, team won. Thank you to Humbag and Gary.
Well, did you? I mean, did you take anybody out at least? You were using Vega, right?
I was using Vega. No, I didn't. Well, I came close. I beat. I played Perfect Legend for the first, my first match, and he beat me 2 rounds to 1. And then I feel bad about this. I don't know the name of this other player because I played him before in the Michigan Masters event. But I played him, and he also beat me 2 rounds to 1. So.
Who did he use?
Oh, he's a Ryu player.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, there weren't as many Ryus as there were M Bisons at Naptown. I was one of like 20 that day, so that was weird. But okay. Now with let's just get into Naptown, I guess. How'd you went in expecting to win HDR? Did you have any fierce competition in there, or was it kind of ho hum?
There was a couple of good players. Well, I've played Alex before from Michigan, and he played me pretty tough. I guess he plays E Honda, and I also play Vega in this game too.
Yeah.
But I kind of squeaked one out against him with a little bit of luck, And I played Dave in the finals. Actually, I'm skipping ahead to the grand finals. I played him, and like, I don't know, he doesn't have any confidence in himself when he plays me. So we just kind of like, well, he random select, and I picked like T-Hawk and Blanca and stupid stuff like that.
It sounds like a fun grand finals.
Well, it's on YouTube. It's yeah. But actually, the guy I played in the winners bracket finals, I guess he goes to school down in Indianapolis somewhere. His name's Sean, and never met him before, but he plays Ryu, and he was pretty solid.
Well, that's cool. You got a sparring partner possibly out of it, so.
Yeah, well, I guess he doesn't post on Shoryuken, so I don't have any contact with him, but I do kind of wish, I mentioned in my blog on Shoryuken, I kind of wish I could find this guy again and just kind of, basically just, get some playtime in with him, and I'd like to see him, get even better.
Yeah. It's hard to find. Is he just dedicated to HDR, or was he playing other games?
That's the only one I saw him play, so I really don't know for certain. But
that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare. You don't see too many people solely dedicated to HDR, except for my friend Jordan. But that's about it. Yeah. Okay. So you said how did you just go 0-2 then in the Street Fighter 4 tournament? You made it sound like that, or?
I'm sorry. That was for the teams. The teams I went 0-2. Which thank God I had like the best partners surrounding me.
Yeah.
No, I went like oh golly, I don't know, 3-2 or 4-2 or something like that for the singles event.
Did you stick with Vega the entire time, or?
Yeah, I kind of bitched and moaned, underneath, under my voice. I just kind of I was angry, but I struggled through it.
Yeah. So what made you stop playing Chun then? Why'd you give up
Well,
on her?
I'm not quite as good with her as I would like to be. It's just that she's, in my book, she's a little bit too much Third Strike Chun-Li, which I don't like as much as the Super Turbo Chun-Li.
I don't like the best version of Chun-Li. Actually,
Yeah.
Alpha 2 is the best version, but one of the best versions of Chun-Li.
Yeah, see, I'd rather. I never even think about the Alpha, but yeah, I'd rather play the Street Fighter 2 or the Street Fighter Alpha versions of her than the Third Strike.
Oh, okay.
Just not my style for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't. Third Strike version doesn't exactly zone. Now with Chun, I see Chun-Li's throw fireballs, but she just seems like classic, just foot speed poking character. Is that pretty much how you play her in 4? Or?
Yeah, I think in 4 it's more about, it seems like a lot of characters in 4 is about getting in and applying pressure with crouching light attacks,
Yeah.
Mix in a few standing strong punches or standing roundhouses is pretty nice with her. But, yeah, I don't roundhouses is pretty nice with her. She could control space like above her head better. And when she was jumping, she was I think she's a little bit better at lockdown as far as controlling space underneath her.
Yeah, her jumping game aside from the mix-up with her double fierce, like on the jump-in, like her arc is just so long. Like, she floats so long in the air that anybody with a reliable anti-air can just stuff her before she ever gets in. So, I think her jumping angle is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so Naptown was pretty good. Let's jump back though, because I'm still wondering when the DVDs are coming out for this. I'll have to talk to Galleon, but you had a pretty good showing at Seasons Beatings 4. You got what, you get top 4 in HDR?
4, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that was a lot of people that entered too for HDRs, a decent amount.
Yeah, I had I think 50 some or 60, maybe about 60 players.
That's pretty good. And you got up on the big screen and represented the Midwest there versus let's let match versus Sanford. How did you? That was a really fun match to watch, actually. How'd you go about that match? Like, did you kind of go in thinking he didn't know that much, as much as you knew about Super Turbo, or what? How did you treat like this player that's well known in other games and kind of your element?
No, actually, I'm a little scared of him because I played him 2 years ago at Seasons Beatings back in Super Turbo, and called a little luck my way. It went down to like the last hit of the last round, and I kind of eked it out on him. He was upset about it after that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know. I spoke to him just a little bit before our match, and it was kind of obvious he didn't. I mean, not that I care. He didn't remember anything about me, or apparently didn't remember our match. I wouldn't have think then.
Yeah.
So we started playing, and the way I recall it, I guess I jumped out, kind of, got a good fast start on him, jumped all over him in the beginning, and I came close to pretty much just wiping the table with him, but he just kind of hung around, and then kind of started gaining a little bit of momentum of his. Yeah, it ended up going down to the very end of everything again, and very, very nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I guess the thing that sticks out in that match for me, because he was actually, I don't know, I was down to like my last tick or two of health, I think, and he had a little bit extra health, and I don't know, I picked up something on him earlier in the set where I could kind of tell when he would get antsy and he'd want to jump in. And that's kind of what won it for me. Even though he had the lead, I just kind of sat there because I forget what it was, but he has this little tick or whatever that I could just, it's like, there it is, he's going to jump.
You could read his pattern on jumping, okay.
Yeah, I sat there and just turtled for 5 seconds and didn't really feel comfortable with it, but sure enough, he jumped in, and that was that.
Yeah, that's good. And then you had a lot like even fiercer competition coming from people like DGV and obviously Daigo and Damdai. Now you played. Was it DGV that ended up knocking you out, or?
Yeah, actually, both times.
Oh.
It's. I mean, that's fine though. That's probably.
He's really good. I mean, I started. Jordan told me like a lot about him, and I started catching up to like some of his videos, and some of the stuff he can do with Ryu is pretty ridiculous in terms of execution.
Oh yeah, I mean he's. I mean, I would say outside from what I've seen anyway, outside of Japan, I don't really see anyone else that does some of these kinds of combos that he can do on a consistent basis. And I think I even heard Seth Killian sort of make mention to that because he was doing some announcing for the finals.
Yeah.
So he's definitely up there. I mean, I've actually been friends with him for been sparring partners and friends with him for a few years now through the online community. I did meet him at Evo a couple of years back, so I mean we're cool like that.
Yeah. And then now you got some casuals in though against Damdai, right? And did you play Daigo at all, or did that not happen?
No, that was one of my biggest regrets was not getting to play Daigo the whole weekend.
Yeah, he seemed pretty like if you were gonna play him in anything, it probably would have just been Third Strike, just so he could warm up against you. Like that's what I felt like in Street Fighter 4 if you had money. But every other game, I don't think he touched, except tournament time. So
not too much. Yeah, I mean obviously he was a little difficult to get to. I mean, yeah, I did also play. I played a bunch with Damdai, but I mean, again, I've been sparring partners online with him for a while, and I've met him before, so it's I'm just lucky to have some of the best players around and stuff like that to meet up online. That's kind of how I've had to do it because I don't know. I think you kind of know how it is, like around Ohio, around Indiana here. There's no Street Fighter 2 players really.
yeah, not too many. There's Josh, who I haven't heard from in a long time, and then actually, you know what? Frank Massesi, he's got an Xbox now, so you might want to add him.
Yeah, he's put me on notice.
Also, just to throw back to Seasons Beatings, you were talking about like nerves. What's it like? Say you're in a tournament match versus a good player, and then say you're in a tournament match versus a good player on the big screen. What does anything change for you? Do the nerves really get to you that much, or you just treat it like any other match?
Looking back, I don't think I quite played the match right versus DGV. I was pretty sore. Nowadays I guess they call it Morton's. I was pretty salty after that. Not at him because he played great, but I just felt like I played it a little wrong, the matchup. But actually, no, I get a little nervous once in a while, like right before a match. But thank God, nerves really aren't a deal for me. I always kind of felt like I could play at the same level in a tournament match, no matter where where we're at in the brackets or whatever. It's just like playing a casual match. But for the most part, I think other people do play down a little bit. So I think that's kind of an advantage I've got. So no, I really didn't feel nervous. I was just kind of eating up the attention. I liked it.
It's fun. Now, do you have any other plans for majors coming up, like Evolution or Midwest Championships? Or?
I wish. Unfortunately, I'm not as good at job skills as I am at gaming here. I don't know. It's tough economy. That's all I'll say.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Now I had just kind of rounding out the tournament specific questions. For you, how long have you been playing Super Turbo again?
It's
competitively. Let me throw it up.
Yeah, competitively, maybe jeez. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna guess probably about 5 years, maybe.
Okay.
Our arcades locally really didn't get it, and plus I didn't start playing. I think I started playing tournaments around 2001 or something like that. But I started with CVS2, so didn't really get into ST right away. I mean, I've always played the games, but wasn't serious like on a tournament level for it.
Well, I was going to ask, now that you've been playing for about 5 years, how has the competition changed for you? Like, what have you kind of gained insight on as you played more and more people, and what kind of mind expanding things have you seen as you played?
Well, I just definitely confidence. I don't feel is an issue anymore. Just I mean, I don't get mad if I lose. I mean, it's not like I can't lose or anything. I mean, I'm not going to be stupid and conceited, but just always going in with confidence, and it's rare anymore to see. Well, I mean, they're still coming out with new tricks somehow on that game. I don't know, but it's not as often anymore that you see new tricks. So it's like, been there, done that. It's almost like a game of. I was telling Frank. Frank likes poker.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's kind of, it's like a game of poker anymore. You just kind of sit there. You wait for certain things to happen. You get a read on your opponent, and it's hopefully nothing surprises you.
Yeah. Now, has there, like, speaking of that, so aside from this kind of poker mentality of the game where you wait for things and there's really no surprises, is there anything that's remained a constant from the start of your tournament experience to now?
Yeah, well, it's always like specifically for my character, like Vega, it's always it's a constant, it's a struggle just to keep the opponents away from your weak points. Try to force them into fighting your strong points head on. Like for example, I know all the good Shotokan players know that they're going to try to cross up Vega, tick throw, just put pressure on him like that. I know Valle made a big deal when I finally met him out at Evo that one year. I went one time and got to play with him, and he made that a point that just make sure Ryu's just all over Vega, cross up.
Oh, really?
Well, it's a charged character, but
Right.
unlike Guile, his anti-air doesn't really, it's not straight down and up.
Yeah,
It's
it's a little bit of a.
it's a down back, so you lose that charge, and plus his anti-air doesn't hit really behind him quite as much, so
Yeah. Okay.
that's always because I prefer charge characters. I don't know, I guess that's my thing. So you're always in that struggle to make sure you're charged. The characters that don't have to charge are always gonna have instant access.
That's something I hope to maybe implant in more of our new players' heads when they're up against a charge character. Is a lot of them don't seem to realize, that the person, even if it's subconsciously, they do try to keep their charge all the time. So the more you can like tool around with that and dance around their charge a lot, it just can ruin whole strategies sometimes.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess moving into ST, It's been a while since I listened to your episode with Nathan. Is there any Vega and Chun specifics now in HDR that has changed from Super Turbo? Obviously, the wall dive spam is a little null and void, but it still exists. So, what kind of have you changed from Super Turbo Vega to HDR Vega?
Well, yeah. I mean, some, like you said, it still exists, and it actually kind of surprised me that I see some players. I know a lot of people on Shoryuken know this one player from Virginia, Ganelon, and he's one of your, I guess he's your stereotypical Vega that everybody despises. They hiss when this guy comes out to play because he's just gonna wall dive from the get go.
Yeah.
It can still be effective actually. It's even though it doesn't knock down, but I don't know. I'm a little more balanced. Like I use ground game,
Yeah.
Something.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. His ground game is still really good. Something new I've been trying to put in with Vega. With the fake wall dives. I don't think it has that many uses, but I'm still exploring it. I try to fly over them, like high over their head. But then, if I can get somebody like a Balrog, for example, to do his little headbutt, where he doesn't go straight up, he kind of goes at an angle,
Yeah.
Or even like a E Honda type character, what I'll try to do is I'll try to fly overhead, but then cancel at that moment to drop down. Hopefully they've whiffed something at me, and then I get a free throw on them.
Yeah. So you actually do employ the cancel now off the wall dive.
Yeah, but I mean, because everybody uses it a little bit for the obvious reasons, just to get away and fake and things like that. But I'm trying to explore if there's any offensive purpose for it. It's I don't know, it's not that obvious to me yet, but I'm working on it.
Yeah. Other than the wall dive, is there? I don't know. I talk to Jordan every now and then about just kind of weird changes, but has there anything else that is kind of switched over from Vega? Oh, I meant to mention the holding your charge in the corner. I know you talked to me about that. Refresh me on that one, though. I think
Oh, because they took away his stored flip kick. I mean, I think that's a fair change. I think they did a pretty good job on Vega. They kept him really strong, but they took away some of the things that could be called unfair. So yeah, I think Serlin did a really good job on him. Actually, it seems like they actually focused on that character.
specifically.
Yeah, well, I mean, they gave certain characters like Zangief, Crouching Fierce. I think they even said with the Guile Flash Kick, part of the inspiration was anti-Vega stuff. So
Yeah, but it also becomes anti-everything because it's half screen. So
yeah,
it's really
actually,
ridiculous.
one thing I did definitely want to mention, because I play Chun-Li also on that game.
Yeah.
I don't like her new bird kick stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
What's the difference between the old one?
well, the new one's got some kind of the ground version anyway has some kind of like an arc on it.
That's right.
It kind of combos for if you get them just right, you can get like 2 or even 3 hits out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's nice and all, but it seems to me like they took away her invincibility on startup of it, and that was, I don't know. I'd much rather have that back and just give me the old one back.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I get so frustrated. I've been known to slam on my controller because, well, the inputs are like loose a little bit. Like, I mean, not Street Fighter 4 loose, but they're they're a little bit loose compared to ST was.
Yeah.
So if I was charging down, even if I'm not aware of it, but I was charging down, and I decide, well, I want to jump straight up with light kick, which is a really good poke for her. A lot of times I get forced into doing an air bird kick that I didn't want,
Yeah.
and it's lost me matches before. I get frustrated with it.
Yeah. Okay. Now in ST, with the speed of the game, I mean, it's one of the fastest games out there still. Just in terms of game seconds and decision making. How do you adapt? Because Street Fighter 4, like a big thing to me, is you can do pattern recognition and adapt to things pretty quickly if you understand what's going on. But in Super Turbo, it's like the game goes so fast that, like, do you just kind of stick to a game plan, or do you really just kind of put in the mental overhaul and try to outsmart your opponent?
Are you talking about for ST?
Yeah, for
Do
ST.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say because you're asking the wrong guy on 4. But yeah, I mean for ST, I just I've got my own basic game plan going into the match. For each character, it's like okay, well I've played this character 100, 1,000 times, whatever, but of course that doesn't always work. So sometimes like this is something that I've kind of learned to accept is sometimes I will just sit there and just maybe give up a move for free or something. I just want to see how the opponent is reacting. It's kind of back to that poker mentality. I don't mean to move.
That's fine. I enjoy poker. I don't watch it, but I'll play it.
I mean once in a while, you'll see a player throw out what they call a feeler bet. He just wants to see. He wants to get an idea of what the other guy's thinking, what the other guy's trying to do, and so I think you can do that in pretty much any game, but that's something I guess I use more in ST. Just kind of see how they'll react to a certain situation, and even if it means that I lose the first round, it's okay because I take that information and then I apply it to the next 2 rounds to try to win.
So what are some of your? I mean, without giving away all your secrets, I don't want to clue people into how you completely play, but what are some of your, I guess, like feints and your signs that you're baiting somebody?
Well, it's not really. I don't think it gives away a sign, but something like, especially against a Bison player. Bison in that game was really about getting in there on offense and just pressuring the crap out of you.
Yeah.
Um, so what I'll do is, if I have to block, a scissors kick, for example, that's a good little sets up a mix-up for him. And a lot of times, what I'll do is just sit there and just don't, just crouch block and just see how many times in a row. Okay, I guess that doesn't sound sane, but see how many times in a row, like, they'll throw me, for example.
Yeah.
Um,
Before
I guess with a limit, like once they get to like second or third throw in a row, I'm like, okay, that's enough. I get it.
Yeah.
But I just want to see what their tendency is. Like I guess I'll just stick with that matchup because I think that's a good example. It's always like, okay, what do I do now? We're in an impasse because he's done the scissors kick. Is he going to throw? Is he going to poke? What's he going to try? So just for example, like that, just seeing if he likes to poke better than he does to throw, and even if it means I'm going to lose the first round, for example, that's okay because I'm going to use that information because he's going to try it again the next couple rounds, but I'm gonna know what he's doing before he even does it.
Okay. Now, are there any specific matchups for you from ST that kind of changed for you in HDR, and like, were there any ones that you preferred in ST over HDR? Like, did that dynamic change at all?
Uh,
'Cause I know I mean, it's not like there's drastic, except for maybe Old Sagat, but everybody else didn't have insanely big drastic changes. This is all little things, so.
right. No, I don't think there's anything too big overall. Well, at least not for the characters I play. Well, I guess I fear certain things. Like if I play certain Cammy players, maybe is a good example. Or Fei Long players, things like characters that have some of their moves easier to use now.
Yeah.
Easier to execute, and it's just that I guess it's not necessarily that anything's changed with them. It's just that I see it more now. It's like if you watch a good Japanese video, I mean, or whatever. I'm sure there's top-notch Americans that can pull these off, at will, but you're not used to seeing it so much. And then when you get into their HD remix, well, anybody can do these moves on command over and over and over, and it's like, well, I'm not used to seeing it so much just from the average Joe. Just kind of getting used to things like that. So I kind of fear some of those characters whose moves have become more simplistic to use.
Okay. Then I bet you hate 4 in some aspects.
Well, four's grown on me again. At first, I didn't get 4 at first, and I kind of set it aside and didn't really bother playing it or practicing it for like several months, which was,
As did I.
Oh, so you went through the same thing as me then.
Yeah, I went back to Third Strike and was like, I don't want to play this game anymore. And until I finally settled on Bison was when that's when I picked the game back up and really got to playing. But
yeah, I mean, it's just I totally didn't get it, and like I said, set it aside for several months. But I mean, I'd play the tournaments for it, but didn't really have any high expectations. I mean, I'm not sure that I still do. It's just I'm a little stubborn. I guess I'm one of those people.
can't change from Vega, man.
Yeah. I'm just one of those people that the love of the character, I guess, is greater than even the love of like top tier or like even winning sometimes. I don't know if that's good or not, but it's just the way I am, and it's for me the game's a little different. I feel because Vega, if you know how to fight him, people are just gonna lock down on him.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he can make 3 mistakes per round, and that's about it. And everybody else versus him can make a pretty solid amount.
Yeah, I mean, actually, and I give credit to the people. They played the matchups right. I mean, so no offense to them for doing that. It's just frustrating though. But
Yeah.
I mean, at the same token, to be fair, I mean, if I was to try to pick up a character that does deal with it well, like Ryu can deal with most anything in the game.
You can deal with everything.
But if I was to try to pick up Ryu, I'd fall flat on my face. So.
Um, like, but you do have maybe a little ray of light. Although I don't know how much they're going to improve him. But you at least look like you're going to be able to land an ultra now in super.
Super.
Yeah. So I mean, are your expectations for super a lot higher now, and are you going to kind of get, really?
Well,
you're already on the train, but are you going to get more, gung ho about?
Well, that's the plan, but I mean, I saw how that works for Street Fighter 4. I completely fell off the train early, so I mean, I've climbed back aboard since, but
Yeah.
yeah, the plan is full speed ahead and to really get on, from the get-go with it. I mean, I've talked with Gary. I don't know if many other people in the Midwest know Gary or not, but I mean, he's one of the better players in the Midwest for Street Fighter 4, whether people know about him or not. He just is.
Yeah, he's really good. Like I don't know, I think that was his Dulcim that I played online with you guys. And
Oh yeah, we're playing Dawson. That's him.
absolutely destroyed me.
I mean,
few actual solid games in casuals against his Ryu, but I think his Balrog and his Dulcim scare the hell out of me. So.
Yeah, well, we're trying to push him towards Ryu altogether because Ryu and Balrog are his mains. I think more people from the Midwest are starting to know Wolf Crone from Detroit.
Yeah, he's really good. He got like top 16, I think,
in seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, to put it in perspective, I mean, Gary, not Gary, this wasn't being cocky at all, but, he told me before the team tournament down at Naptown, he says, yeah, I play Wolf Crone. He's on my friends list. He's like, yeah, he gives me trouble, certainly, but, with Ryu, I think I can take him. And sure enough, Gary was the only person all weekend to beat him. He got in there with Ryu in the team tournament and took him out. So
awesome. Okay, so he was using Ryu in the team.
Ryu, yep.
Yeah, I didn't actually. Mr. Gon and we went out for a cigarette and then got locked out of the tournament for the majority of the team tournament. So we had to wait for Flexo to come down and bail us out.
Oh, out in the cold, huh?
It wasn't actually too bad. I think it was the patio we were standing on was heated or something because it wasn't too bad actually. But we were just sitting out there and I mean this is at the same time the mall's about to close, so we're like, are we gonna get back in or? So that wasn't fun. But yeah, like Gary's real good. I wish he would come out to more things, and just play online more. I know he's only got PSN. But
yeah, PSN. Well, he's got a 360 now, so we'll.
Okay,
I don't
awesome.
know. I'll try talking him into getting some super on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. C Viper, like Wolfcrone's C Viper, is really patient. She, as a Bison player, she doesn't really threaten me. But if I play anybody else, like especially as Ryu, where I kind of try to play Ryu Super Turbo style, just throw fireballs. She just gives me hell when I do that. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, Street Fighter's changed over the years. It's, no offense to your game, Third Strike, but I mean, fireballs seemed about halfway worthless in that thing.
Yeah, only Remy really throws fireballs in that game.
So, I mean, it's not to the level of 2, but, I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, the fireball, it's got its uses, but it's not quite what it was in 2, but it's definitely, it's back more than it was in 3, so.
Yeah. Now, are there any rumored changes you've seen for Vega yet, or I mean, other than the Ultra?
Well, yeah, that he's got that little tiny hopping like axe kick.
The orbital heal.
The meat. Is that what that thing's called?
I think so.
Yeah, it's got.
I've been playing a lot of Tekken, Brian Fury, and that's one of the moves. So.
I know he's got these dumb names like Piece of Mercury and.
Oh, that's what it is. It's like.
Is that the one?
Something like that. It's like Mercury. Yeah, something like that.
It's an axe kick. It's a freaking axe kick, Capcom. But yeah, that's an overhead now.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. I'm just waiting on one big change. That's all I want is one change. Just give the flip kick, the anti-air, just give it some invincibility on it.
The EX or the regular? That's.
Gosh, at this point, I'll take EX even. I mean.
Yeah, at least
but
you can burn
I would
to get out of trouble.
I mean, I would hope for the regular. I mean, it's like, Ryu, Sagat, Chun-Li can use EX, Bird Kick to get out. Zangief's got Lair. All the good characters have a way out, and to me, it's I don't know. That's why I'm not going to go back to ST, but that's why I always like that better than Hyper Fighting. Because in ST, everybody, well, like 95% of the cast, they all had anti-airs. They had ways to deal with jump-ins. It always kind of seemed trivial to me on a 2D game why you'd want to have so many characters that can't deal with a simple jump-in, if it's a 2D game.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of where he's reverted back to that status in this game against some characters. There's a couple that he literally can't even think of anti-airing no matter what attack they jump with, no matter what the timing is. It's just, well,
air with like neutral fierce or something.
well, yeah, like air throw is probably his best anti-air, but if they knock you down, they don't give you a chance for that.
Yeah.
Like Balrog is pretty good at jumping in on him. He's very safe, and I believe, I don't know what kick it is, but Ken has one of his jump-in kicks that just you can't flip kick it. You just can't.
Now, do you just tend to? I know we played online, and you did your fair share of wall diving, but you didn't. It wasn't. I don't think it was as bad as if we were playing like ST or something. However many wall dives I see. So, do you just mainly play the ground game with Vega, even though you don't have this reliable anti-air, and just try to poke away, or what kind of style do you?
Yeah, well, since I've really gotten back into the game, it's been like I've really been practicing, with some seriousness for the last month or probably about a month and a half to 2 months actually. I guess time flies.
Yeah.
But that's really what I've been, about a month and a half or 2 months is what I've really been putting in the training for it again since I've really gotten into the game again, and it's what the strategy I go for now. It's I don't know how common it is. I've seen other videos, but you knock him down, and then he doesn't have the Akuma Vortex by any means, but repeated wall dive, throwing with the Azuna drop is actually it's I think it's pretty legit with him. So it's about the best thing he's got going for him right now.
I've heard if you can execute his Azuna spam properly, versus a Sagat, Sagat should actually have a fairly hard time dealing with Vega. Apparently, that's not a bad matchup, but it's one of those weird hard matchups for Sagat somehow.
Yeah, because that's one of those. I don't know what the new rankings are or whatnot, but as far as I knew,
last.
that was.
Well, close to last. I think El Fuerte might be worse.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Dan, huh? Dan's worse than Vega.
No, I think Dan's better than Vega in that game. Honestly, I'd be willing to argue that he might be a little better. He has a Shoryuken. You can't.
Yeah, he's got a better anti-air. Come on now. But I think that's one of those Sagat. I think is one of those 7-3 matchups for Vega, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he. I don't know. The trick is his throw, his Azuna drop range. It was really huge in Street Fighter 2, and
yeah.
I think now it's kind of a little tiny. So I think they could kind of find a good middle ground for it. And the other change, if I was on the development staff, change that I would want to see is, every character on this game has throwing commands like Third Strike, and even Cammy with her Hooligan is a two attack light attack to throw.
Yeah.
I wish they would do that with his wall dive because sometimes then you don't get the throw. You're clearly going for the throw, but it's it's a small hitbox, and then maybe you get the slash, maybe you don't. It's confusing.
Yeah. Now, between ST and 4, do you prefer ST's one button throw system, or do you you can tech throws in ST, but you still take the damage, and that's something some people complain about and some people just absolutely love. What's your stance on that?
It's tough. I guess I would still prefer the one button throwing, just because I'm one of those scrubby types on 4 that still has, for the life of me, has, crouch teching throws is beyond me. I'm just
that shit. Just hold down and crouch tech.
But
on a laggy television, though, you will definitely get thrown, even if you you are crouch checking. Like that, and that's a big problem I see. Like, we play at Arcade Legends, and thankfully we put in CRTs now, so we don't. But we still, like, on game nights, non-tournament days, we'll play on some laggier televisions, and you can just see it. Like, you'll just get a whiff short and then get thrown while you're crouch checking. So
Yeah.
I mean, lag can definitely play a big factor in that, but I don't know. Coming from because I started with 3S, I always prefer the two-button method just because of the tech. That's the only reason why.
Well, I do like the way that I do think it's a good idea that you actually have to decide hey, I'm going for the throw, so it's a different command. I mean, I think there is some skill or some good some thought and strategy in that, and having throw as its own separate command. But then again, nowadays everybody's always about option select. Everything's an option select, and the way I see it, back in 2, throwing almost kind of was its own option. Well, just the process of the way you threw was kind of its own option select, because
a fierce or a strong or
yeah, he's like, well, I'm just going to walk in and I'll toss you across the screen, and if you even try to do anything about it, well, guess what? I'm going to hit you out of the air with a fierce instead. It's like it's my own option select.
Yeah, I see. Now, real quick, because you said you do still play 3S, and I've always just wanted to ask you why you picked Oro. Like, what? Because Oro just is totally beyond me in that game. I've tried to sit down and learn him just a little bit, and I suck. So, like, why did you pick Oro? Does he, like, remind you of Vega or for some reason, or does he just kind of fit your overall style?
No, he's nothing like Vega. But actually, Oro. Well, I always switch. Oro's in there. Like, Oro was my backup actually at Naptown. I picked Elena.
Oh, okay.
But,
yeah, I forgot you played Elena too.
Because, well, I'm moving away from Chun-Li. Stupid as that sounds. So.
You're moving away from free money? I do too. I refuse to pick Chun. I'm starting to play a lot more Kin now, but I will never pick Chun.
I guess the simple answer would be the reason I picked up Oro was I got addicted after watching some Hung B match videos. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's from Cal. Yeah, I saw some of his videos from some one of their arcade tournaments they had out there years ago, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and it was new to me. If I lived out there, it'd probably have been stuff that I learned right away, but behind times out here a little bit, so It was new to me, and I was just amazed, and then started, I'd see a random Oro video here or there. I'd like, I'll pick that up. Let me see what they're showing me here, and I just pick up on stuff and started playing with him. Took some practice, obviously, but started liking. Started liking what I was seeing in the matches I was playing. I actually found him fun to play, which is the most important, thing.
Yeah. And
then started, the final ingredient, was just started having some success with it, actually. So that was
Tengu stones mainly, right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna bother at this point, but I've always regretted. I've always regretted not learning the Super Art 2 unblockable stuff a little bit. But, like I said, at this point, I'm not going to bother going back to that. So.
And also, I forgot you played Elena. So you said you're basically main her now, or?
Oh, it's just random. Like, depends what I'm feeling that day.
Oh, okay.
I usually don't main her, but just gone down there, I just decided, I'm going to start with her every match, and then if I lose, I'll switch to Oro. It's kind of funny. I got this. Everybody links with their Super Art 2. Everybody links into that from Crouching Medium Punch, which is probably her best. But there's one I do a lot, and it usually pisses people off. I don't know if they think I'm mashing or what it is.
Jason told me about that one, I think, too. In fact, I think there's video of him screaming that links.
Well, yeah, because there was is that Delphius?
Yeah, it's Delphius.
Okay, yes, because I played him in the tournament, and he was the first person to be impressed by my link. You can do either I don't do standings if I screw up, but crouching light kick into the super.
Just one, or can you hit confirm like 2 or 3 in there?
I don't really know.
I'm just wondering because So you
I
just do one crouching light kick into super?
Yeah,
That's
you give up,
fast.
yeah, you give up a little damage, but it's real. That's the point. I mean, you give up a little damage, but it's faster, and I think it's a little bit harder to parry, even.
Mhm.
Just, I guess because it's faster, but, and even if I don't know, it's weird. Like, even if I screw up, you might get a standing light kick, which can hit them low there, and then, you get that into the super. So it's got a little advantage like that, but yeah, most people get mad. They're like, "Oh, that's BS. Oh, you're so lucky. You mashed that out. How could you do that? There's no way you hit confirm that." But yeah, Delphius was like, "Oh, that's incredible. I'm taking that one."
Yeah, he I think he pretty much mains Elena now. He plays Dudley too, but I think because he plays on pad, he has problems doing some of his hit confirms, and
Mhm.
I don't blame him. Like I've always told him, if he can learn stick, he would like Dudley a lot more, because Dudley requires really quick like hands in some situations. So
Yeah.
all right, well now even though you can't make Midwest and Evo, you're still on board for PowerUp, right? Our tournament
Well,
here in May.
I mean, it depends on my job situation. Whether or not I have one at all. And if, assuming I do have one, just depends on if I'm working whatever weekends, or probably won't have any vacation built up in time. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to ideally hit all these, but just isn't really feasible for me right now.
Well, you could just come down for the day, maybe. I mean, we're only gonna have ST, or I think we're gonna have ST on cab actually, but I think we're gonna move it to the showcase cabinet, so you're not at that awkward angle.
Oh, I thought I got voted out for like CVS2 or something in rival schools.
Oh no, I think we're still gonna hold that. There's like a couple different tournaments on cab, and that's one of them. So. But Jesse, I think, is going to work on fixing up the stand-up cab and making the angle better again. Because you played on it before, but I know for the last time you came here, we had the sticks like elevated a little bit instead of at that awkward kind of angle. So most people said they preferred that way.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good cabinet overall. I know it did have some problems. Like they had a tournament on it the last time I was there, and I definitely had some problems on it, and kind of felt some frustration. But I guess you're always going to run into that. I prefer arcade stuff, but that's always the problem. That's the catch-22 with arcades is that.
You're playing on their sticks.
Yep.
So you can't bring. Yeah. Well, we might be able to figure something out. I don't know. We might be able to pull a Midwest Championships where you can like jerry rig ports or something onto the board and let you play with like your PS2 stick or something.
Yeah. See, did you make it to Midwest last year?
Yeah, I did.
Because I didn't get to. How did that work with with ports?
Unfortunately, now I know ST was just entirely on cab, and there was no. Actually, there were ports. Now that I think about it, because I remember Jordan played a match and he was using my stick, I think, or somebody's stick, and he was sitting down. So, they managed to rig up ports. I'm pretty sure for the ST cab. For third strike, though, it kind of pissed us off because one side had ports and the other one didn't, and because of time issues, they wouldn't let us like pick. You basically had to play whatever you got. So it was weird, and also throughout the week they had used Hap 360 stick, and I actually don't mind those. When I got used to them, I prefer them, and then they switched to Hap competition, and I loathe competition sticks. Like the gate on that, plus like the American stick. Like, I just get accidental, like, super jumps and jumps all the time when I'm charging or something on that. Because of, like, the bounciness of it. So, yeah, I had to play on the one cab that didn't have ports my second round. And, yeah, it was crap. I hated it. I don't feel like we got cheated. But at the same time, like, if they had just kept in the perfect 360 sticks, I think there wouldn't have been any problems. So.
Well, so like you said, for the ST cabs, they had them all ported or whatever.
I'm pretty sure. I think they only had one cab in it because there weren't that many. There was a decent amount of entrants, but there weren't a ton. and yeah, I'm pretty sure they had it ported. So
I'd definitely be interested in trying that because that just seems like the perfect, like the mix. Because you get the arcade perfect game. Because usually sometimes for consoles, well, definitely for ST, but even for other games, console sometimes isn't exact. It's like the arcade always seems superior,
oh yeah,
but
arcade version always number one. Um,
s-
but it'll be on
but
the
then,
showcase cab. So I mean, you played on that before too, right? That was the one with CVS2 and Alpha 3 in it.
yeah, because I played in the Alpha 3 event, so
Yeah, those sticks are a little bit better quality. Same with the buttons. So,
yeah.
and hopefully by then we'll have 3S on cab too with Sanwa parts. So that'll be even better. But yeah, I know we're gonna hold CVS2, and we're gonna try and do Project Justice. But I don't think there's gonna be too much, hype for that. There's like maybe I like to play it. I know Arcane likes to play it, and then Jesse. So
Yeah, I
that's it
mean
so far.
that's the problem, like it's always at the pre the pre-tournament status, the point of things, everybody's always, they'll get hyped for any game, you tell them you're going to play.
Primal Rage.
Yeah, oh yeah, I played it, but then come game day, it's like, exactly, nobody.
Nobody. Are there any, if you do end up coming out though, are there any other old school games you'd like to play or see some side tournaments maybe run for? If we can set up?
Well, I mean, we're definitely going to try to come. It just depends, as always. And I know if I come, I'm pretty sure Gary would come with me. Try to get some other crew members to come.
Yeah.
So I would be interested. I haven't had a chance to play this yet, but I am just biting at the bit here to enter my first Jackie Chan side tournament. I want to see how I do.
Bad, actually.
I got hooked up with from Zach, from Ailerus, so
Yeah.
he showed me where to find it. I put in just a little bit of minimal time with it and just kind of
You don't
figured
have
things
to put
out.
in much.
Yeah.
You just dash up and mash that attack button until you get whatever you need to get, and then you win.
So yeah, I'm eager. I want to try that. Nothing else right offhand I can think of. I'm probably forgetting something, but I don't play like that. Everybody else is into that Ninja Turtles fighter and.
I never got into that either because I never played it, so I can't make a call on that one. I hope we can maybe get some of the odder fight. Actually, we might try a Bushido Blade tournament too. That could be interesting.
Yeah, a couple friends of mine, they have, I think it's the second one. I don't even know at this point, but I think it was the second one. And I'm like, oh, whatever. I've never played it before, so yeah, I'll try it. And I was actually, of course, I don't know why, but I was doing good. Like, I don't know why I was doing good. I don't know how much skill there is to the game, but it didn't seem like there was a ton.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not very deep.
like, you can't really decide when you're going to block, can you? Or
I'm not sure. um, yeah, that's what little I know. Now, let's see. I had one other game in mind. Shoot, and we just got. Oh, we have an Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 machine now, and actually a good one at that. So, could I entice you to play in a side tournament for that, or did you ever play UMK?
I used to when I was a kid, or I guess I wasn't even a kid. I'm kind of old, so I was kind of like I was a high schooler, a middle schooler and high schooler. So, yeah, I used to back in the day. Didn't really know any better. Yeah, it's a little bit harder nowadays to entice me to play Mortal Kombat, but I did play in part 2 when you guys had it one time out there. So it depends, We'll have to see. I might have to bust out some Sindel on you guys.
We'll see what we can do then. Yeah, Cam sat me down and just showed me Cabal's like quick and easy free combo after he lands that little tornado run. So, and it wasn't too hard. So the only thing I can't get over in that game is there's a run button and a block button, and just having two buttons that don't perform attacks. Like, I play Virtual Fighter every now and then, and so the one guard button is like enough for me to forget about sometimes. But having two buttons with alternate functions just throws my brain for a loop. So, have you been playing any of the newer games like Tekken 6? I know we played a little bit of Tekken 6 online, but Freaking king in mashing command grabs. I wasn't like unhappy about it, but I was just like, I see what I see how that could be a really gigantic frustration for somebody. So
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to know the commands anymore. You just repeatedly mash all 4 buttons at the same time, and there's your 7 throw command string for about 70%, 60 to 70% life.
did you end up doing that to Nasty Note, or did you fail?
Actually, oh gosh, darn it! Why'd you even bring that up, man?
Oh, you haven't done it yet?
Oh, we did it. It's a sore subject.
Oh.
Obviously, it didn't go too well for me. He got me. I told him I didn't, he didn't know what the tactic was, but my mashing tactic. But I told him, I said, if you don't get around this, you're in trouble. But if you get around this, I don't really play king, so
yeah.
you probably have a decent shot at me. And yeah, he, I don't know how to put this kindly, because I know other players have told him the same thing, but he's got this habit. Doesn't matter if he's close. He could be full screen away. I don't know what he's thinking, but his thing in that game is just to, I don't want to use the M word, mash. He gets mad when I say that. But he likes to just use complete strings, like I said, he don't have to be hitting you. He could be like way the heck far away at like running range, and you'll see him he's out there performing strings like it's some kind of a martial arts showcase or something. I'm like, what are you, And that's typically not a good thing in Tekken, but
whiff punishing in that game hurts a lot.
But if you're if you're going in with the tactic I was, which is to try to hit him with a certain command grab and then go through my little routine,
Yeah, I can see that stopping it.
Yeah, not so easy to get in and grab him when he's constantly blindly throwing out attacks like a maniac. It's like, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, do you just kind of play T6 casually, or are you investing some time into it for tournaments?
I've played like 2 tournaments for it. I was thinking about getting into it, but I don't know if it's for me.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, yeah, we can't play them all. So, and I would definitely encourage people out there listening, just try every game, but nobody is going to settle on every game. Like, there's going to be some things you just absolutely hate and despise and never want to see played. Like me, for instance, I hate Melty Blood, and I hate you, Eva, for picking that game and putting it up on the big screen, and I hope it dies and fails.
Well, wait, you're not like a Blaze Blue fanatic, are you?
No, I hate weeaboo games. to put it bluntly. I mean, my friend Matt just started playing fighting games, and he's a BB player, and I'll talk to him about the game, and I don't actually hate Blaze Blue. I think sometimes it can be fun to watch and play, but other times it can be very monotonous and repetitive to me. Like, I just see the same crap and a lot of dashing, and I think that's what pisses me off most, is just all these like 2D kind of Japanese Arc Systems like games. They all just have this air dashing, and I like Guilty Gear and I respect it, but it's just so much dashing. Like, I get tired of that. So that's just me, though.
Do you like? Have you tried the Tatsunoko game any?
Yes, that I do like, though. I will be going back on my word about combo games when I have recently been playing a lot of TVC, and that game is a lot of fun. So, in some ways, yeah, I'm a bit of a hypocrite, but I think it's mostly just the cast in that game is the reason why I like it, and a lot of the other games I just never enjoyed the cast in.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. No offense, but I mean, I think it's I think there's a reason to that. I think the Capcom actually makes, for the most part, makes superior fighting games. Because I don't have a lot of experience with either game, I guess, but I'm definitely looking into the Tatsunoko Capcom game, and I've
a lot.
Oh, Marvel one.
Yeah, and Rival Schools they had like a brainchild.
I mean, I'd rather play those over the Blaze Blue any day. I don't know what it is. I actually, gosh, at the risk of ticking anybody off, I don't know what it is, but what is Blaze Blue skyrocket? Well, I think it sort of skyrocketed in popularity right away. It was like, woo, like here's a new game, Blaze Blue. Everybody's hype, and then a couple months down the road,
It died.
Yeah, dead.
Yeah.
It's like a ghost town.
My friend Matt, I've talked to him a lot about it, and it's mainly the tiers. Like, the Arc Systems crowd is very much about perfecting their balance in a game, and I'll talk to a lot of Guilty Gear players who swear by XX Slash and say it's their favorite iteration, over what Accent Core. So it's mostly just about, I guess, the general census of balance that there is, and Blaze Blue is like, or Calamity Trigger, that is the first one, is pretty imbalanced. Like, the top three really dominate a lot, and that drove a lot of players away from playing. So, I mean, Aracune is a lot of BS, and V13 is like, I like how Josh Ballard had turning Johnny Donuts into SBO qualifiers. That's what it basically does. So, and my friend, they all have the new version out. I can't say how they got it, but
Right.
basically, CS has been leaked, and a lot of people have it now, and they play that and enjoy it a whole lot more, and say it's a lot better than before. So I don't know. I think it's just going to have its diehard crowd. I think a lot of the Guilty Gear players won't. The ones that were diehards from that game won't jump on it, but I think BB might regain some popularity here with the new version.
I was gonna say they can't even get their game represented as a real actual event at Evo. I mean, it was last year was kind of given the sideshow treatment. As a
When I went this year, it was actually a pretty decent sized team tournament that they had. They had a 3-on-3 for it as kind of a side tourney, and that actually went pretty good. And the advertising for it was pretty well done. Like, they gave out a decent amount of free stuff, and there was a lot of people playing. But then the hype kind of died down after Evo, I remember, and this year it's mostly just a question of time, because the CS might not, it's likely not coming out before Evo, so they don't have a way to port it. So the best they could do is just do another side event and maybe get like an early copy like they did with Tekken 6 or something, kind of like this beta
okay.
copy. So I'm thinking they might try and do that so they can give the Blaze Blue players something to play. But, I mean, the big reason why Melty Blood got voted in was because people are kind of tired of Guilty Gear, but Dustloop told all these players to go and vote for Melty Blood, since that was kind of the one game they could get represented through. So I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off saying it, but I do not see the merits in that game. It's pretty much just crouching light into freestyle combo over and over and over. And that's just boring. It's just so boring to watch. So, but if you have fun with it, play it. I don't care. So, yeah, all right. Well, is there anything else you wanted to talk about before I wrap it up?
Is NHL 10 hockey video game a topic?
It can be. I don't really think.
I don't think it's much of a topic.
I don't think the audience for this podcast really cares about sports games, but I mean, you seem to play it pretty religiously, so.
Yeah, well, it's people. Well, that's okay. I don't really play first-person shooters, so that's, everybody else has their.
Team Fortress 2, man. If you have a PC, get Team Fortress 2. Best, I don't even know how much money it is. It's probably not expensive though.
Well, you gotta realize this. This game to me is like my World of Warcraft, or it's like my shooting game. I got my clan. It's like, oh, what class are you? Well, I'm a defenseman. Oh, I'm a power forward. Everybody's got their own class, so to speak.
Really? You play on a team. You don't just go at it
yeah.
one-on-one.
Oh yeah, they have a league. They actually have a tournament. They have the grand finals are held up at the EA offices up in Vancouver, Canada, for the championships.
Huh.
Yeah.
Goalie?
I do. I split time between goalie and defenseman. So
I figured you'd play the turtle character in those games.
No. I wasn't a rich boy. I always wished I had some. I always wish I could afford some goaltender pads and try some real life hockey, because I like
hockey back in my day before I got into video games and got out of shape.
Oh, well, you ought to love this game then.
Actually, I like open ice. I love NHL open ice. Like, if you put that
Gotcha.
game in front of me, I will play it all day. I think I might still have my old PS1 copy, and now I might go play that. So,
There you go.
all right. Well, I can wrap it up real quick. I sometimes I was doing this little general association questions, but I had another idea. I wanted to ask kind of the rhetorical what if questions. So I have a list of just 4 quick ifs. If you had to pick one, would you play ST on cab with American parts, or HDR on console with your own stick?
Oh, okay. That's easy. No, I'll take. I'll put up with the American sticks. Hopefully they're decent. And I'll take the SD on cabinet.
All right. If you had to play one game for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Only one game. I mean, because I can't keep upgrading from NHL 10 to 11 to 12.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. I'll give you a if you could play one game series, that.
Ah! Oh gosh, I can't pick just one, so I'll just go with. I'm addicted to NHL right now, but they'll always be ST for me.
Okay. If you had to eat at one place for the rest of your life, where would it be?
Oh yeah.
The correct
We don't
answer
have.
is always Cane's Chicken, but you can.
Oh, yeah. I might have to pick that now. I was gonna say White Castle.
Oh God, you can. Oh no.
I'm not blessed to have one close to me. Well, I have to drive like an hour and a half to get to one, but
I would be 80 pounds if I ate at White Castle every day because it would just go right through me. There would be no point.
well, I can agree on Canes. I'll visit Canes with you. I'll cheat.
All right. And then the final one, if you were playing as Vega and his claw and his mask come off, which one do you grab first? This is an SF4.
Oh, an SF4?
Yeah, say his claw and his mask come off at the exact same time because it's dumb like that. Which one? And they fly off in opposite directions, so you've got to go one way or the other. Which one?
Well, I was going to say, if it was a realistic question, the answer would be neither because the Ultra that I got hit with just killed me. But I would, in SF4, definitely go with the mask.
Oh, really? You would take the health boost over the poking benefits?
Yeah, well, poking benefits?
I thought his claw did something. I mean, I don't even understand the whole taunt still. Like, what does this do? Why is it in the game?
Yeah, well, it's just, yeah. I'll take the mask. That's my answer,
man.
mask.
Well, this is a good one. I enjoyed talking to you a lot. Hopefully I'll see you at the next event, and we can play some 4 and ST.
I hope so, man. I'll definitely play with you. PowerUp 2010.
All right, yeah. Hope to see you there. Okay, man. Thanks.
All right, thanks for chatting.